Hello, how are you? Welcome to Santuário Lunar. In this video I'm going to talk about one of the most powerful symbols we all use. If you're a witch, a wizard, a warlord, an occultist, anything, this is the most powerful symbol for us in magical aspects. I'm going to talk about the pentagram. I'm going to tell you its meaning, how to use it, some other meanings, some other interpretations, and more. Let's... So to start and make it clear, pentagram comes from the Greek 5 lines, and we can have these 5 lines in different ways. One of the ways is having them equally divided, and we use this pentagram for music notations. But the other way is having them interconnected. Mathematics class, what is a line? It's the shortest distance between 2 points. In our pentagram, in our magical pentagram, we have 5 points, and these 5 points are connected by these 5 lines in an endless way. One line doesn't block the other. And these 5 points, they have meanings. 4 of them symbolizes the 4 elements, the 4 natural elements we have on Earth, in our sphere, in the material world. And of course, we use these 4 elements into our magic for our spells. They are water, fire, earth, and wind or air. But on the pentagram we have the 5th point above all of them. And what is this 5th point? This 5th point represents us, our mind, our spirit, or ether. According to Éliphas Lévi, one of the greatest occultists we have, the pentagram signifies the domination of the mind over the elements, and by this sign are enchained the demons of the air, the spirits of fire, the phantoms of the water, and the ghosts of earth. Equipped with this sign and suitably disposed, we may behold the infinite through the medium of that faculty which is like the soul's eye, and you'll be ministered unto by legions of angels and hosts of fiends. So the pentagram, according to Éliphas Lévi, again, represents the microcosmos, our sphere. So it's totally linked to ourselves, to the human experience. By placing our mind or our spirit on top of the other elements, we symbolize that we mastered all of them. We know how to work with them, how to cooperate, and how to magically be influenced by them and using their energy. By the way, I highly recommend the whole collection of Éliphas Lévi books. These 3 books I'm showing you are the Portuguese versions, because I have the Portuguese ones, but in the description you'll find the link to buy the English ones, in the comments too. Do check. Does it mean we can have these elements for us, like we are the owners of them? No. Different from this thinking our society has, that Earth must provide us everything we need, and we can just consume and destroy and exploit. Here the relation is different. Although we are above them, it's not that we are the owners of them. As I said, we understand, we master, and we can work together. But as we are ascending, it means that we are not attached, totally attached to material things and to the earthly things. We can go beyond. We all should naturally have some connections with these elements. So it's normal to be more connected to fire, to water, or to earth, or to wind. For instance, I've always been a water person. My connection with water was always stronger, and also with the air. In the past few years, I've been working my fire connection, and my earth connection is still, I need to work a little bit more. It's like an RPG, you get experiences and suddenly level up. What's the difference between the pentagram and the pentacle? The pentagram is the 5-point star, let's say like this, 5 lines interconnected into 5 points. in an endless way. Sometimes we will not see this endless way because it's a little bit hard to do, mainly in amulets or talismans. Sometimes people do it like 5 straight lines. Yeah, but the original one is like this. They are endless. And the pentacle is this 5-point star inside a circle. But it's not only this. Although today it's very common to say pentagram is the star itself, the 5.1, and pentacle is the star inside the circle, it's limiting. And the reason for this, it's a bit complex and we have to analyze a bit of history to understand or to try to understand. So to start, we check the origin of the words. While pentagram comes from Greek and penta is 5, pentacle supposedly doesn't come from Greek. And that's the secret, that's the trick. It may come from French. And then we don't have penta as 5, we have pentacle. That is something we can hang on our neck, so a talisman. And this is intriguing because when we check the works of Éliphas Lévi, and he was French, and even the English translation of the books, pentacles are not written pentacles, but pentacles. This may indicate that really the word comes from the French pentacle or something very similar, and not from penta from Greek. And to make things more interesting, years after Éliphas Lévi, we have Aleister Crowley, very famous occultist from England. He also writes and says pentacle, not penta. But we have a downturn, we have something that may have led to our current situation. The Rider-Waite Tarot, when it was released in the beginning of the 90s, it created or it interpreted one of the suits of tarot as pentacles. And these pentacles, they are represented by a circle with a pentagram inside. So probably, as the Rider-Waite Tarot is so popular, probably this idea of pentacle being the circle with the 5-point star became very widespread. But as I said, it's limiting. But to make things a little bit more interesting, Gerald Gardner in the 60s, he came with the creation and founding of Wicca, and he also says pentacle for the pentagram inside the circle. But the truth is, if you look for pentacles, you will find a huge variety of pentacles, of different pentacles. Most of them are going to be circular indeed, but most of them won't contain the pentagram inside, because a pentacle is not essentially just the circle with a pentagram. You can even find the hexagram, called a pentacle, a circular form with the hexagram inside. If you look at the Solomonic pentacles, you will find many other styles, many other different styles. So to make it short, this is a pentagram, this is a pentacle, and this is also a pentacle. The pentagram is a universal symbol, and symbols are universal. That's the great thing about symbols. Even though we speak different languages, even though we live in different moments of time, in different places, we can understand symbols. It doesn't rely on culture, on level of degrees or something like that. They have their own meaning, and we can somehow interpret and understand. But historically, symbols can change sometimes, can get new meanings, or can abandon some other meanings. And I'm telling this specifically because of the inverted pentagram. You probably know it. The symbol of the Satanists or the Church of Satan. So why do we have this inverted pentagram as this symbol for these things? If you analyze again, the normal pentagram is the 4 elements and the mind mastering them, going above, elevating, or transcending. And if we invert, logically, the mind will be below the material things, the elements. And this symbolizes the attachment to earthly things, to material things. If we know the Church of Satan, that's what they really say. They are not an antagonist of the Catholic God or something like that. They say they are materialists. They praise the experiences of earth, of the flesh, of our realm. So this inverted pentagram makes total sense to be used as a symbol by them. But then it raises another question. What about the goat? What the hell a goat has to do with all of this? To understand, or again to try to understand, we'll go back to Éliphas Lévi. When Éliphas Lévi published his book Transcendental Magick in 1854, he came up with the illustration of Baphomet, the Sabbatic goat. And Baphomet symbolizes not only destruction or chaos or problems or evil, it also symbolizes the balance between things. As above, so below, male and female, dark and light, all the hermetic principles. And if you check on Baphomet's head, you will see the normal pentagram, not an inverted one. Some years later, in 1897, a French occultist,
Stanislas de Guaita,
published a book called Le Clef de Magie Noire, the key of the dark magic or black magic. And in this book, he came up with the idea of the goat pentagram, which is an inverted pentagram to show some attachment to material things and all the ascension and all, and he put the goat inside. Then, almost 100 years after, with
Anton Szandor LaVey,
we have the foundation of the Church of Satan. And it is said that he was browsing his books, his occult books, and he found La Clef de la Magie Noire, and he found the goat pentagram. So he reutilized, reworked, resignificated this pentagram to serve his purposes as a main symbol, as the logo for the Church of Satan. So what I'm really wanting to tell you is that although we have these variations, we can clearly see that the essence of the symbol remains the same. So for every symbol in the world, if we trace back to its origins, we'll probably see something similar to what we understand today. And this is the magic of symbols, because they carry this in a simple symbol, in some simple lines, in a simple drawing, and that's really powerful. So how to use the pentagram? Now that we know all we need to know about the pentagram, is finally the time how we can magically use it. How can we use it for protection, for enhancing our spells or enhancing our connection with the elementals or with the divine or whatever. I'm the type of person that believes that everything must be simplified, because everything in essence is simple. So we, human beings, we complicate things to give the sense of achievement. You deserve or you don't deserve something. You must fight for, No, I think everything is simple. Nature is complex, but it's simple to understand and to live with. So is the same for magic. I believe everything should be simplified, and we all have this power within us, so we can simply awaken it. And I use the pentagram to enhance my spells and to remind me that I am powerful. I used to wear a pentagram amulet for protection, but for some years I've been wearing some crystals and stones, different ones, but I still have my pentagram amulet kept on my drawer. So the thing is, first you have to get a pentagram for you if you wish to use as an amulet. You can craft one, or you can buy one. Either way, you have to clean it and to energize it. Mainly if you buy it from someone else, because you never know the whole process of production and selling. So how to clean your pentagram? I usually do in two different ways, one or another. By passing on the incense smokes, like white sage, palo santo, sandalwood, cinnamon, just light up the incense and clean the amulet, whatever is the amulet, not only for the pentagram, in this smoke. Or the other way, which is the way I do for crystals and stones, I use coarse salt and I bathe the thing I want to purify, to clean in the coarse salt and bathe and pass it, and it's done. And to energize it, you can place it somewhere outside your house where we can take the sunlight and the moonlight, preferably during 24 hours and preferably during the full moon night. So just place it there, wait for the whole day, 24 hours, get it back. It's ready. And you can also dedicate this pentagram to a deity if you work with one. For example, for Hecate, obvious, but you can also choose other deities that are linked to the arts, to the witchcraft, to these dark secrets, like Odin, Hermes, Oshun, and many others. In my case, as I said in the beginning, I use for enhancing my spells. I don't use the physical one anymore. The one I showed in the beginning of the video, I used to burn incenses. But during my spells, at the end of my spells, I draw a pentagram. And this, as I said, is to remind me, I am powerful. I can make the spell happen. I know how to work with these energies, and I deserve its results. It's personal. You can use if you wish. If you want something more complex, I'm not saying complexity is wrong, but what I'm trying to say is that simplicity is right, and people say simplicity is not right. But if you want something more complex, more powerful, but will require much more knowledge, look for the Lesser Pentagram Ritual. You can find it on YouTube, you can find it in books. This is a ritual that used to be performed by Aleister Crowley in the Golden Dawn, and maybe you will find it useful for you. So this is it. This is a pentagram, this is a pentacle, and this is also a pentacle. Never forget it. If you like this video, please give your thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. If you have some doubts, feel free to ask. If you have some compliments, feel free to give me. I reply to all. And if you want to throw your hate on me, please don't waste your time, because I don't answer this kind of comments. Thank you so much, and see you. And if you're still here, why don't you stay a little bit longer? Here you find a playlist with all the goddesses I've talked about. Here, a playlist with all the spells and studies I've talked about. Here you can join our Telegram group, because there are some things I put only there. And here you can subscribe for more. Thank you.